Okay. So usually view means it doesn't store any data, right? It's a virtual object of the main table, correct?
Yes.
So now, whenever you are trying to view your, whenever you are trying to execute your,
lagging, sir.
sorry, yeah,
Sir, your voice is
breaking.
is it okay? Okay, one second. Let me connect to my mobile hotspot. Hello. Hello. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So when you are trying to execute the view, so it will go to the physical table or underlying tables and it will bring the data, correct? Because the view doesn't store any data. So now tell me if the view is faster or slower.
Slower.
It's slow, right? Because it doesn't store data. So definitely it has to go and get the data from the table itself. Okay, so what if the view will store the data? The view itself storing the data, then it will be faster, right? Correct?
Yes. Yes.
yes.
So now we will make that inside this index view, guys. Okay, so let me show you. So create view iv underscore. So you can take any of these tables. Okay, so I have very less amount of data here. Let me take any table. Okay, let me check the tables. Okay, I'll consider this table, but there are some duplicates. Can you see this? So there are some duplicates like 2, 4, and 5. Okay, so let's try to write a query to delete these duplicates. Yeah, on top of employee. So what is the query for that?
With CTE.
With CTE as select row underscore number over partition by employee ID and order by employee ID ascending or descending, and row number comma star from my employee underscore history table Okay, now delete from CTE where row number is not equals to 1. Correct?
Yeah. Semicolon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, there are 3 duplicates. It has been removed. Okay, now the data is perfect here. Yeah. So let's go and create a view. See, the thing is, initially, instead of creating index view, right? I mean, we cannot create directly index on top of a view actually. Yeah. So I'll tell you the reason. You know about index, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So indexes can create it only on top of physically existing objects. Okay, so physically existing objects, meaning, okay, so your physical tables are there. These are physically exist, right? Which way, so it will be there in the database. Also, it stores the data, correct?
Yes.
So that's where it is called as a physically existing object. Okay. Now, what about temporary tables?
We can create.
Yeah. So even these temporary tables also physically existing objects. See, forget about the scope. Okay. Forget about the scope, but at least a certain time limit, the table will be there. Data also will be there. Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
There is also a physically existing object. What about table variable?
No.
It
Okay.
won't exist, right? After the execution, it will not exist at all, correct? It won't
Yes.
store in the database, correct? So it's not a physically existing object. When it comes to the view, right? See, view doesn't store any data physically, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so view will be there, but it will just saves the query, but not data, right? Correct. So these also, it won't exist physically, guys. It's a virtual object, right? Correct.
Yeah.
Understand? It's not a physical object. Even your table variable also, it's not a physical object. And these physical tables are physical objects. And even temporary table also is a physical object. Okay. So indexes can be created only physically existing objects. Nothing but on top of main tables you can create, on top of temporary tables also you can able to create it. Okay. So whereas on the table variable in view, the views cannot be created directly. Understand?
Yeah.
Getting it? It's very important. Now, okay. Now what we have to do is we need to make, first of all, we need to make a view as a physically existing object. Yes. Okay. View is a virtual object, right? Now we need to make the view as a physically existing object. Okay. Now we need to tell to the SQL server saying that no, this object is physically exist. So if you make like that, then we can create the index. No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So for that, what we will do is first of all we'll create a schema binding view. It's very important. Schema binding view. What exactly this view means? Let me create the view first. Okay, so create view. Okay, view name. Anyway, I'll take IV underscore employee underscore history. Yeah. So with schema binding, it is a single keyword. Okay, as select. So these are the columns, right? Now what I will do is, what is the table name? Employee underscore history. No. Okay. So let's call all the columns from employee underscore history. Okay, and here also one important thing is schema name is mandatory. Okay, so create view name and with schema binding. For none of the views we are keeping this option, right, with schema binding.
Yes.
But the schema binding view, you need to keep this with schema binding. I'll tell you what exactly it means. Okay, as open brace, and you need to mention select column names from the table name list. Do remember that while creating the schema binding view, you should not keep star here. Okay, when you mention star, no, it will throw an error, guys, because while binding the schema, so definitely if there are 100 columns also, you need to mention that column names, not the star. Okay, and another mandatory thing is when you're keeping the table name, right, the schema name is mandatory. Even though it is a default schema, still you have to keep that schema name. Clear?
Yes.
Yeah, these are the mandatory things, guys. Okay, now what is meant by the schema binding means? See, schema means I already told you. Okay, this is this database schema, correct? But if it is simply schema, no, it is nothing but your column names. Okay, now, so I already told you metadata or schema, okay, or fields or columns or structure, nothing but column names, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so now what is meant by schema binding is we will bind these columns, guys. Okay, so we will bind these columns. So binding is nothing but nobody can go and change any data types or column names for this particular columns. We should not rename, we should not do any edits for these columns. No changing in the data types, no changing in the column names. That is nothing but the schema binding. If you bind it, no, then your view will be acting like a physically existing object. Okay, so then we can able to create the view. Otherwise, if you simply go on, you try to create a view on top of some simple view, or I mean without schema binding, you try to create an index on top of a view, definitely it will throw some error. Okay, so if you want me to show, I'll just show you. There are so many views here, no? So okay, this is one of the view, right? Let's try to create non-clustered index and index name. I'll just put something, and then on
Object.
View name
table name of
and
some column name. Oh, no?
Yeah.
So this is the view, right? So now table name I'm taking as a your view name. Okay. Okay, non-clustered can able to create. Let's try to create a clustered index. The operation failed because the index of statistics with the Keja already exists with the exist on the view.
We created non-clustered index and people.
Sorry, no, 1 second. No? I think it's a schema binding view. I think so. Let me just check. Yeah, it is a schema binding. Can you see? Hello.
Yes.
As it is schema binding view, then that's the reason it is allowing the index. Okay, so let's take any other scheme in view. Okay, so let's take this. ABC, and this is my view name, and let me see some column names. Okay, department name is there. Can you see? Cannot create index or on view SV underscore employee because the view is not schema bound. Okay, no. So once we make the schema binding, then only we can able to create a view. sorry, then only we can create a index on top of a view. Okay, schema binding is nothing but, so nobody can go and change any of the structure of the table. Okay, even though if you try to do it, definitely it will throw an error. Understand?
Yes.
So very simple guys. Schema means just locking these columns. Okay, just binding the columns so that nobody can come and do any changes on top of it. Okay, so that we can make this view as a physically existing object. Okay, so now as it is a physically existing object, right, we can create any index types. Okay, so now let's see, maybe now there is a schema binding view. Okay, so whatever we created, this is called a schema binding view. So we'll check whether it is stored the data or not. Okay, now how to check it?
SP underscore space use.
SP underscore space used and single quote that view name. This is the schema binding view, right? Okay, does not exist at Printshop. I think we haven't created it.
Yes.
So create it, you go and check. Can you see? Still it is null only. Correct? The view doesn't, this is a schema binding view, right?
Yes.
Still it is not yet stored the data, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So now to make it store, no, to make it the data stored in this view, what you need to do is you need to create unique non-clustered index. Okay, unique non-clustered index. Unique non-clustered index means it won't store any data. I mean, it won't allow any duplicates in unique non-clustered index. Okay, so now how to create that index means create
Unique
unique
non-clustered index.
Index, some index name, right? I just say okay, unique non-clustered index on
View name.
your view name. So you can take any column which is having a distinct values. Otherwise it will throw an error. Okay, na? So let me just see. So in this we have a employee ID is a distinct, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you need to go and select that columns, and I think it is saying that cannot create. Okay, that's fine. So now it is saying that cannot create index on view. Okay, it does not have a unique cluster index. What it means? It is saying that I cannot create unique non-clustered index. Okay, because it doesn't have any unique cluster index. So it means
view doesn't contain clustered index.
No, it is not simply clustered. It is unique clustered index. Okay, clustered is different. Unique clustered is different, right? See, when you create a cluster index, will it allow duplicates or not?
It will allow.
It will allow.
Correct. If you create a primary key with the cluster index, then
unique cluster index.
No, when you create primary key with clustered index, will it allow duplicates or not?
Not allowed.
No, not allow.
Let me make it clear. When you create primary key with clustered, right? So as there is a primary key, don't allow the duplicate stays. Apart from that, if you create simply a clustered without a primary key, we can create it, no?
Yes,
sir.
Without a primary key, we can create a clustered index. So in that case, it will allow the duplicates. Do remember? Okay.
Yes.
If you don't want to allow, what you need to do? Go for unique clustered index. Okay, na? Yeah. So the thing over here is to create unique non-clustered index. It's requiring a unique cluster index. Okay, na? First, you need to create this. On top of it, you need to go and create a unique non-cluster. So what I will do is I'll make unique clustered index, and the name is, I'll just say UCI, not UNCI, UCI on employee table. The schema binding view and column name. The same column you have to take for unique non-cluster also. Okay. Yeah. So let me create this index. On top of it, you go and create this. See, now it is not thrown any error. Correct?
Yes.
Okay, na? So now if I go and check the view space user, right? Can you see? Now the view stored the data, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so now whenever you are viewing your, whenever you are executing your view, from where it will get the data?
Index.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, your index view.
Oh,
View itself, it is getting the data, not from the table, correct?
Table. Yes.
So now it will be faster, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Correct. Now, one more thing. So when you're binding the schema, right? Let's try to change something, column names or any data type, and we'll see what will happen. So alter table, table name. Okay. Alter column. Let's say employee salary. Now it's float actually. I'll just say money. Money data type I'm trying to change. So what it is saying, so I'm trying to change the data type in the employee table, employee history table for employee salary column. It is saying that the object IV employee history is dependent on column eSal. Alter table, alter column salary failed because of one or more objects access this column. Okay. So meaning, see, we are binded this column, right? Correct.
Yes.
And your view is depending on this column or not, because it is also physically stored the data now, correct?
Yes, yes.
Not only data but also the column names. Okay, so as this view is depending on these columns, right? So we cannot able to do any changes over here. That is what it is saying. See, it is failed because one or more objects access this column, correct? No, this view is accessing this column right now.
Yes. Correct.
Understand?
Yes.
Yeah. So that is what whenever we are binding the schema, we cannot able to change the data types or column names at any point of time. Okay, so the main purpose of view here is just to store the data in the view itself and getting the data. So it will be faster always. Okay, now? Yeah. And make sure whenever you're creating your schema binding view, right? You should not put star here. Also, you should not put, you should mention this DBO. It's mandatory. Getting it?
Yes.
Yeah. Let me show you. If you try to create by keeping star, no, I'll show you what error it will throw. I'm creating a new view. Can you see? Syntax star is not allowed in schema binding objects. Okay, no? So all the columns is mandatory in the schema binding view. Other views is doesn't matter, but here it matters actually. Okay. So in the real time, if you want to make it the view faster, this is the one of the best way to go with the index view, guys. Okay, now. Yeah. And this view is also called as this index view, also called as materialized view. Materialized view in Oracle. Oracle data. We do have an Oracle database, right? That is a different course actually. Okay, so there this index view is called as materialized view actually. Okay, so now in the interview, no, sometimes they'll say like what is a materialized view, sometimes they'll call it as a what is index view. So both are same, you can explain the same concept. Okay, now?
Yeah.
Any questions, anyone?
We use multiple tables in index view.
You can use it, but the thing is you have to mention the column names. That is mandatory.
To mention all the columns are based on our requirement columns.
Yes. Any questions?
Is it possible to alter the view, sir? This
Is it possible to?
alter this schema in the index view?
This one, yeah, altering is fine. So if you
Means,
want to change the
suppose
column,
I have suppose I
Okay.
have taken the 10 columns.
uh-huh.
After that, I will include a few more 5 columns.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm asking whether it is possible or not.
Say for an example, I'm just removing this column here. Okay. I'm just trying to alter the view. Let's see what will happen. See, alter is done. Okay. Now when you go and check your view, right? See, the end date is gone. Okay. But still,
Yes.
it is the space used is gone now. When you alter the schema, right? The space is gone because one column we have removed it, right?
Yeah.
Correct. So it doesn't know how much space is required. Okay. So now again, I think you need to go and recreate this. Okay. Let's see. See, now it is again stored. So that's the reason, right? Whenever we are creating a schema binding view, we will fix these columns. Okay. In the future, we will not change these columns at any point of time. If that's the case, what you need to do, you need to alter it. And again, you need to recreate these indexes. Okay. Drop it and recreate
We you here end date is remote, right?
it.
We can alter the end date column in main physical table.
We
It's
can
possible
alter
to
this.
end date column only, end date column. In physical
Altering
table.
means, okay, let me go to the main table. In your main table, that column is there, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so altering means what? Changing the column name or removing the column name?
Changing column name or anything.
No, you cannot do
Data-wise.
that actually. So even if you try to do that, SP underscore rename table name, right? Table name is employee underscore history and dot, let's say end day. So to, I'll just change it to end date. Okay, now. This is the syntax, right? SP underscore rename table name dot old column name comma new table, new column name. Okay. So changing any part. Okay. So why? Tell me why it is able to allow this operation.
Because it doesn't have schema binding.
Exactly. So that column has been removed. No, correct. From the view, that column has been removed. So there is no dependency, right? The view is not depending on this column, right? So that's the reason we can able to change it. Let's change other column. Okay. Let's change some employee address column and we'll see whether it can able to change or not. Now, can you see the object employee underscore address cannot be renamed because the object participants in enforce dependencies. So the view is depending on this column. No.
Yes.
Yeah. Getting it?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you please write down if there is no questions? Write down. Index view file editing. To create index and a view, to create index and a view, we need to make the view as physically existing object. we need to make the view as physically existing object. We need to make the view as physically existing object. Okay. Next point. To make it physical object, we should create a schema binding view. To make it physical object, physical object, we need to go ahead with schema binding view. We need to go ahead with schema binding view. Okay, can you please write down this syntax? Make a side heading schema binding view and then create this view. Let me know once it is done. Finished?
Yes.
Okay, write down below next point. While creating the schema binding view, while creating the schema binding view, we should not keep star. We should not keep star. We should not keep star, but mention all the column list. But mention all the column list. But mention all the column list. Okay, next point. Next, the database schema name is mandatory. The database schema name is mandatory. Before the table name. Before the table name. Before the table name. Next, once we create schema binding view, once we create schema binding view, we cannot edit the structure of the table. We cannot edit the structure of the table. We cannot edit the structure of the table. Okay. Next. Now, next point. To store the data in a view. To store data in a view. To store data in a view, we need to create. We need to create unique clustered. We need to create unique clustered and non-clustered indexes. And non-clustered indexes. On non-clustered indexes on top of schema binding view. On top of schema binding view. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next. So can you make this syntaxes? Can you write down this syntaxes? Done.
Yes.
Okay. That's all about the index view. Okay. The main purpose is just to make the view faster. We'll go for the index view base. Okay. No? Okay. So we'll quickly go for the next project explanation now. Project flow. Yeah. So can you please draw this picture? Yeah, draw this picture, please, first. Let me know once it is done.
It's done.
Thus,
Yes, sir.
yeah, okay. So this is the project flow which you need to explain. Okay, it doesn't matter what domain you're keeping in your resume. Okay, you need to explain the same project flow. Okay, do not change this flow at any point of. It's very easy to explain what are now I'm going to give you. Yeah, same thing I can explain. And if any questions come, so I'll tell you. So what kind of questions will come, how you need to manage. Okay. Yeah. Now there are two things here. They'll ask you, can you explain your project flow? The second thing is, can you tell me what kind of data you're getting? Functionally, they'll ask us to explain. So in such cases, you need to explain the database tables, number of store closures, packages, those things. Okay. So flow means this is more than enough. Okay. And your project explanation or flow should not exceed more than 3 minutes. Okay. Within 3 minutes, try to finish it. Okay, now understand?
Yes.
Yes.
And in interview, unless they ask about the project flow, don't explain it. Okay, so only you need to tell the roles and responsibilities. So in the self introduction, so once they'll go for the project flow, then only explain it. Otherwise, it is not required. Okay. Okay. So let's see what exactly we'll do in using the course what we have done. Yeah, so can you see, first SSIS will come, then database will come, then SSRS will come into the picture, guys, always, because first we need to load the data, then we need to create queries. That queries will be used to generate the reports. Correct? This is the flow. Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay. So usually once we developed all the packages and your store closures and reports, everything, no, the whole structure will be the project whole structure will be like this actually. Okay. So now we will be creating one package called staging package in SSIS actually. Okay. What is meant by staging package means, see, usually you will get a requirement from your client actually. Okay. We will get a requirement from client that is called as BRD or TRD. Okay, BRD means business requirement document or technical requirement document. Okay, no. So any of these two things will come in the form of Word format. Okay. Now based upon that, we will build the SSIS package. All means in this business document, no, they will give us like what kind of logics we need to perform inside the package. Okay, what columns we need to consider, what data types we need to take, what is the package name, what is the table name. So all these kind of information will be given in this BRD, business requirement document. So okay, so whether we need to maintain the historical information or current information. Okay, so how many sources will be there, okay, how many destinations will be there, all such kind of information will be given in the BRD. So by reading this, okay, so we need to create the staging package case. Yeah. So now here they will also give us some sample files. Okay, sample, or you can say like dummy files or junk files. See, nobody will give you in the development time, right? Nobody will give you the live files for you. Okay, so those are all dummy transaction files which they are giving to us to develop the package. Okay, now. Hello. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now assume that the client is giving something like this. Okay, so nobody will give you a direct columns in the sample files, guys. Okay, how the column names, no? So something called ACD underscore E, ABE underscore D, ADH underscore F, ALH underscore E, APKQ underscore L, and they'll give us some data. Okay. Some salary, and assume that this is the address. Okay, so this is maybe what you can say, address, age, yeah, let's consider 34, 32, 31, 28, 27. Okay, now so this is how they will give us actually. These are the client fields. Okay, now so were you able to understand what is the exact column name here? No, right? Yeah. So the client will also give us a different column names in the files, because for the security. Okay, now security purpose, they will give us the client column names, guys. So the original column names, they will give it in the BRD itself. So they will give us a mappings. Okay, so saying that this is a employee ID column. Okay, now this column is nothing but employee name column. This column is nothing but employee salary column. And this is employee address. Okay, and this is employee age. So this is how they will give a mapping document for us. This is the client fields. This is the original fields. Correct?
Yeah.
This is client fields and this is original fields. Do remember it. Yeah. Now, what we are going to do in this staging package means, here we'll read that the client file. Okay, and we'll load it into the database, guys, into a tables called staging tables. Okay. So in staging package, see, it is also SSIS package only, but we are naming it as a staging. Okay. So why it is called as a staging, will we'll come to know in few. I mean, in some time. Now, whatever the file they are giving, right? The complete file without any manipulations. The complete client data 100% will load it into the staging tables. Okay, now these staging tables also there in the database itself. Okay, now see, sometimes both staging tables and main tables will store it in single DB. Sometimes staging tables in different database, staging database, and these main tables will be in a different database. Okay, now it depends on the design, guys. So sometimes staging tables will be there in staging DB, and main tables will be there in main DB. Okay. Or sometimes what they will do is both will maintain in single DB itself. Staging and main will be there in single DB. And how they will differentiate? No, all the staging table will starts with staging underscore employee details. Your main table will be employee underscore. Understand? Okay. And the difference between your staging and main tables, right? Your staging table will contains client fields. Okay. And your main table will contains.
Original.
Yes. Your main table contains original fields. Do remember it. And other difference is your client table columns will have varchar data type most probably. Okay. All the column data types. That doesn't matter what data in it. Okay. But still they will maintain varchar data type for all the column just for easy reading. Okay. Now, so now when it comes to employee details, right? I mean, in the main tables, no. Here we will having respective column data type. So which means, so whatever data in the columns, right, with respectively we do have the data type. If it is an integer, date means date, float means float. Okay. Understand? And in staging table, no constraints. It's a if there is no constraint, no indexes, it is nothing but which table?
Staging table.
No, it's a table name we called as what?
No indexes. Heap.
Heap table, right? Very important question it is. Okay, now so your staging tables are basically heap tables. Okay, no constraint, no primary form utilization, nothing will be there. It's a plain table where all the columns are having varchar data types. Okay, now.
Okay.
So when it comes to employee details main table, we will be having all the constraints. Okay. Understand the difference between staging and main tables?
Yes.
Yeah. So in the staging tables, what first we will do is, so where our files will exist, tell me, the client files in the FTP, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. So in the staging package, we will use the FTP task to download the files from their FTP to our shared folder, correct?
Yes.
This will happen in the staging package itself. So once it is downloaded, if at all it is a zipped files, we need to unzip it. Correct?
Yes.
Then if there are number of files are there, then we need to use the for each loop container to loop each and every file and load the data in the staging tables. Correct?
Yes.
Yes. So in the staging package, we'll download the files from client FTP to our shared folder. Shared folder means
Common folder.
our local folder, but anyone can access. Correct?
That is a common folder.
Yeah. So it's a common path for everybody. Okay, so we will download the client files from the client FTP to our local shared path, and then if at all there are zipped files are there, we'll unzip it, and using for each loop container, we'll loop each and every file, and then we'll load that files into staging area. Correct?
Yes.
So now in staging, while dumping the data in the staging area, no, we will not do any manipulations, guys. Means no transformations will use inside the staging area. It is simply source. If at all required conversion, we'll convert it, and then destination. That's it. No lookup, no match join, no any other transformations at all. It is completely 100% data from client files to your database. Okay, staging tables. No manipulations in between. I'll tell you why we need to maintain that. Okay, now
Yes.
understand?
Yes, sir.
Now I also told you that there is no constraints, in the tables, right? No primary foreign key relationships, because see in the client files we may contain the duplicates, right? There is a chance, correct?
Yes.
If you create a primary foreign key relationships, will it allow the duplicates? No, right?
No.
That's the reason we will not keep any constraints over there. Okay, it's just a heap table where it has to allow the complete information from the file. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions till here?
No, no.
Okay. Now in the staging area, we'll do few things actually. Okay, we'll do few things. I'll tell you. Do you remember that master table we were discussed last time to check while performing the fuzzy lookup? Do you remember about the master table?
Yes, sir.
Where we will clearly store the data and then we will comparing it. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So while staging, we will do something called validations. Okay, now while staging, no, this validation keyword is very, very important to remember it. Okay. So while performing the staging package, right? I mean, while dumping the data into staging tables, we will only do the validation. What is meant by validation means, let me show you. Assume that there is a patient ID. Okay, there is a patient ID, and the patient ID will be something like PL, okay, or Apollo, let's say APP, then 090203. This is how the patient ID should be. Okay. Now, how many characters are there? How many? Total length is what?
9.
9. Okay, na? So according to that hospital, right? So the patient ID should not exceed 9 characters. I mean, 9 length of this patient ID should not exceed 9. Okay. So now what we will do now while dumping into the staging, so we will maintain all this patient type. We will check whether the length is 9 or not. The patient ID length is 9 or not. We'll check it there. That is one kind of validation. Okay. If it is more than 9, what we will do? Then and there itself, we will transfer to other file saying like it is error rows, and we'll send it to the client. Okay, there we'll do the validations, guys. So that validations will be given by the client itself. They will tell us for what column, what logic, not logic, what validation we need to apply. Clear? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So in the staging package, no, we will read complete data from the files, but we'll do, the validations, guys. So validation means whether the length is same. Okay. So, and one more thing. So here also we'll maintain master tables in our database. Okay. Master table is nothing but, let me show you. This is the patient ID, right? And then I'll just put maybe some TIN ID. There will be some TIN IDs also for the patients. Okay. And let's say country and state. Okay, now. So, and then the patient details, let's say medications and the amount what they have paid, all those stuff. Now, this is the data which we are getting from the client. Now, what we need to do now, we need to verify whether this patient ID is really exist in our hospital list or not. We need to check, right, whether this guy is really exist or not. Yes or no? Hello.
Yes, yes.
So when we are getting these patient details, right, they will firstly go and check whether this patient ID is exist in that hospital database tables or not. Okay, so that whole patient details they will maintain in a master table, that is patient master details. Patient master details, and let's say country master details, and then TIN master details. They will maintain the client has to give us this data. Okay, the client has to give us this master data, tables data, and we will load all this data, guys, using SSIS package. Do you remember that parallelism?
Yeah.
Okay, so everything is different here. There is no dependency, correct?
Yes.
So we will, they will give us the files for us, even patient master details separate, country master and TIN master, and we will load respective tables using the SSIS package. In single click, we'll load into these tables. Okay, and it is only one time load. Do remember it. Okay, one time load. If at all there is any changes comes in master data, then we will come and reload it. Okay, now. So in staging area, what we will do is we will do validations, right? In the validations, first thing I said is length. That is one example. The another thing is they will check whether this patient ID is part of their database tables or not. In the master tables or not, they will check whether that patient is exist in that master tables or not. We'll check it. If he is not present in that tables, right, then we'll mark it as a invalid patient, and we'll send it to the client. Okay, not only the patient ID but also the TIN ID, country name and state name, all these things will verify with which tables?
Master.
With master tables. Okay, see, there are 3 tables which you need to remember now. Okay, one is staging tables, another one will be original tables, and then master tables. Okay, see, master tables and it's a fixed data actually. Okay, it's a fixed data where we will go and compare it whether really that data is exist in the master tables or not. If it is exist, it's a valid one. Otherwise, it is a invalid. Okay, now. Yeah. Yeah. In the staging area level, we'll validate our data. Okay, whether these guys are exist or not. If the validation is passed, right, then we'll load the complete information into the staging tables case. If the invalid patients are there, then directly we'll send it to the client itself. Okay. Understand?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Now I'll tell you what is the purpose of this staging tables. Why we need to maintain this. Okay. Now let's go here. Yeah. Fine. Yeah. So now once the staging is packed, staging package is done. Okay. So where the data exists now?
In the staging table.
Tables. Nothing but DB. Correct.
Yes.
Now your transformation package will come. What is meant by transformation package means whatever we done over here. So all this transformation we used, and we eliminated some data, or we separate some data using conditional split or lookup. Then we are pushing the data into tables, main tables. Correct? The same thing will happen over here as well. In the transformation package, we'll read the data from staging tables and we'll dump it into the main table space. Okay, so in between, what we will do the manipulations using the transformations. Clear? So for transformation package, what is the source and destination?
Source is
source also DB, destination also DB, correct?
So DB. Yes, correct.
Source also DB and destination also DB. But what you need to do, definitely you need to make the conversions, no? Because in your source, in your staging, right? So there all the data types are varchar, but here respective column data types will be there. Definitely you need to make the conversion, correct?
Yes.
Also,
Yes.
you need to apply some transformations to remove the junk data, and finally, the required amount of data will push it into the final tables. Final tables means your main DB tables, it will exist. Okay, now the thing is, the client will tell that some of the value whatever you are entering into the final tables, it is wrong. Okay, in the DB table, whatever the record they are giving, okay, in the file, right, that value is wrong in the DB final table. Okay, 1 second. I think let's go further, then we'll come back to again staging. Okay, yeah. So now the database tables contains the main data, the final output, right? So now what we will do, we will create our queries or store repositories for reporting, and we'll generate the reports, correct? Yeah. So assume that there is some wrong value in the report. Okay, assume that there is some wrong value in the report. The client is saying that no, whatever the value I am giving in the file, that is not coming in the report. Okay, now where exactly you will go and check? Tell me.
Staging tables.
Sorry.
Staging tables, sir.
Exactly. So they're saying the value whatever I'm giving, so it is not representing in the report. Okay, that's what they're conveying, correct? Now where exactly we can see means, we can see in two places, guys. One is the value is there in the source files, right?
Yes, correct.
The values are there in the source files. Also we are maintaining the same in staging tables as well, correct?
Yes.
Now tell me, which one is easy to refer? Is the Excel file or a flat file is easy to refer, or a table reference is better? Table is very easy, right? We can simply write a query and we can get it, right?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
That's the reason we are maintaining this information. Okay, see, in the transformation and all, sometimes we'll aggregate it. Okay, and the aggregated data we are showing in the report level. After aggregation, the client is saying that the value is itself wrong. Then obviously we have to go and check it in the source level, right? So if there is no staging package, definitely source is nothing but our file only. So in the flat file, is it easy to search the value?
No.
Definitely no. If there are lakhs of records, it is not that much easy, correct? Yes or no? Because
Yes.
maybe two rows or 3 rows may contain the same value. So how will you check it? It's very difficult, right? So that's the reason. Simply go and write a query, and then you can see the values. Okay. That is the main reason we'll maintain the staging tables, guys. If something went wrong, instead of checking the files, we'll just simply go and check the data in the staging area, because there we are not doing any manipulations, correct? It's a plain data. It's a plain data from directly client files, correct? Yeah, and one another thing is proof also will be there. So if something went wrong in the source files, let's say the source files are corrupted, or maybe my folders has been deleted by mistakenly. I have deleted all the source files. Okay, so if you deleted, right, and if they're saying something went wrong, so you cannot check if there is no staging tables, correct?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. So at least staging tables are there. We can have the proof. Okay, now.
Yeah.
Now, until when these staging tables will maintain the data means, it depends on the project to project, guys. Sometimes they will maintain the staging tables. Okay, one day means morning they will load the files, right? Source files, correct?
Yes.
Let's say morning 9 o'clock, they pushed the, I mean, they have placed the files. Now the staging will push the data into staging tables, and then transformation, then DB, correct? Finally to DB. Now when the next package will run, and next run will run. Hello. When the next run will happen to the package? Again tomorrow only, right?
Yeah.
Yes or no? See, because every day we'll get the files. Today we got it, we load it, and tomorrow again we'll got the files and we'll load. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So now when until when this staging tables will maintain the data means sometimes it is 1 day, sometimes they'll maintain 1 week data, sometimes it will be 10 days. Okay, not more than that. Okay, now. So again tomorrow when we are running this package, no, at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, what will happen? It will truncate all the staging tables. Okay, it will truncate all the staging tables, and then it will load the fresh data. Then it will go and push it into the main transaction tables. Transaction tables will not delete it, guys. Okay, only staging tables will delete it. Okay, so when something happen, okay, the staging tables will maintain only 1 day for us. Okay, so for an example, I loaded today 24/05/2022. Okay, now the expiry date for this one would be
25.
for staging tables would be 25/05/2022. Okay, now assume that client come back on 30th of May, and they're saying that there is some value wrong in this 24/5/2022. On that date, there is some wrong information in my main tables, because see, my main table will contain the data always, right? We will not truncate this, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so on 30th day, they're running the report and they're saying that there is some value wrong in this particular date. Do you have the data in the staging table now?
No.
In the staging table, what data will be stored now? 29th, correct? Now?
Yes.
29/05/2022 data will be there. Okay. So now what we can do, if we want, we can able to load these files again, right, into staging tables.
Yes.
We can place the files in the source location. We can run the package, staging package, correct? We can do that, right? Because we will create staging package separately. We will create transformation package separately. This package is different. This package is different. Now, if I want to load these staging tables, right, we can run only this package, no?
Yes.
Now I'll place the 24. Anyway, I have the zip files, no? I will place 24 zip files in the source location. I'll run the package manually so that I'll load the data, right? I can load the data. So then go and verify it. Okay, so maximum the staging tables will maintain 1 day data. That's it. Okay, 1 day data will maintain, and then after in future case, if we need the old data, what we will do? We'll reload the staging tables again. So within 1 day, if you want to check it, yes, obviously data will be there. You can check it. If not, you need to reload that information. Clear?
Yes.
Yes.
So after loading, we are deleting zip file also, right?
No, we are not deleting. No, we are moving into archiving folder. Do you remember it?
Yeah. And
So
we are maintaining that zip file, completed files. Source zip file we are deleting.
Yeah, we are maintaining in completed. No, in archiving it is there, I think. See.
yes, sir.
Okay, so
This
with
is
the
completed
date, it
files,
is there.
sir.
Huh?
This is completed files.
The completed files nothing but source files only. No,
Okay.
correct?
Yes.
So along with the date we do have, now what you can do, see when you open, see these are the source files only, right?
Yes.
So now copy this file and place it in the original location and run your source staging package. Okay, clear? No?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's how it will be. So whenever you want to check something history data, okay, so you need to run the staging package ID. Okay, so at that point of time, don't run the transformation package because already the old data has been loaded, right? See, even though if you run, nothing will happen because there will be lookups there and it will definitely compare the data. Okay, here, no?
Yes.
Yeah. So now let me explain from, see, this the whole process will happen in the real time actually. Okay. Yeah. So let me explain to you. So how you need to explain this process in front of the interview, the project flow. Okay. So you need to start like this. This is the project name. Let's say the project name is some ABC. Okay. Or let's say Mercedes Benz. And my client is USA or UK. Okay. And we do have staging. I mean, every day we'll be getting some source files into our FTP folder. And our staging package will starts at some 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the morning, or maybe 7 o'clock in the morning, and it will download all the source files from the FTP folder to our shared folder. Now in the staging package we have configured the for each loop container to unzip the files and to read each and every file, and all the source files will load it into the staging area, staging tables. In the staging package we will also do some validations with the master tables data. So if any invalid records are there, we'll send it to the client. Only the valid records are there, that will send it into the final staging tables. Okay, so in the staging tables we are not maintaining any constraints and all, because there might be some duplications might be there. So that's the reason no constraints are maintaining in the staging tables. Now immediately once the staging tables are filled, immediately after 15 minutes or half an hour time, will automate our transformation package and it will gonna start. And for the transformation package, the source is the staging tables, staging DB, and the destination is the final SQL DB. And in the transformation package we are doing all kind of manipulations based upon the client logics, and there will cleanse all the data and only the required data will push it into the final DB tables. Now we are creating so many store poses, we have written so many user defined functions views for the purpose of reporting, and all the queries whatever we written we are using in the data set level to creating or to building the different kinds of reports. Like you can tell all the report names. Okay, so like a table, matrix, drill down, drill throw, sub report, parameter reports, and cascading reports and all. Okay, and all these reports can be accessed by the client through the application. Okay, don't tell report server, because mostly nowadays in the real time, so the clients will access the reports from the application. We'll talk about it. Okay, now.
Yes.
So this is the whole project flow you need to tell. So this is what we learned, right? IS, SQL, RS. This is the whole flow. Loading, writing the queries, using the queries to generate the reports. More mokkalo cheppalante idi. Understand?
Yes.
At least you got the clarity.
Yeah.
You got some clarity.
Yes.
Okay, so they will give the raw files, guys. We just need to cleanse the data. We need to push the data into the tables, and based upon the requirement, however they want to represent some data in a different formats, right? That we'll do it in the reporting by writing SQL queries. Adi simple ga cheppalante. Okay. Yeah. So here application means, see, in report server the client can view the reports. That's fine. But in the application, if you're giving that options, right, it is very easy for the user. It's very user friendly. That's why most of the cases, I mean 100% in the real time,
every project will be having an application. So the client can directly come and access those reports. So I told you, right? No need to give any training for the to work on the applications. Everyone can do that. Okay. So if it is a report server, no. So definitely at least we need to give some kind of demo to them. Correct?
Yes.
See, they don't know how the report server will work. Correct? Yeah. So if it is an application, right? See how the application will be shown means. Let me show you. I'll just save it. So how the application will be there, no? So assume that there is an application. Now, when you open this, right? So it will ask for username and password, correct? So when you upon the opening this application, no, in the left hand side they'll put all the report names. Okay, assume like this. Okay, so let's say balance sheet report, and then what you can say, sales report, benchmark report. So all the reports has been mentioned like this. Okay, now the client what has to do, so whichever report he need, he can just double click on it. Okay, so this is the front end application. This is how it will be. When the double click on this, right, what the .NET people will do is, okay, so see this report where we deployed
Report server.
report server, correct? So that report server name, that file path, what are the parameters, all this information will give it to the .NET team. Okay, all the information will give it to the .NET team. Now upon the clicking on this report, right, so what .NET people will do is, already we given what parameters required for this report, right? Correct?
Yes.
So they will show all the parameters here. Okay, now they will show all the parameters. Parameter 1, please go and select it. Parameter 2, please go and select it. Parameter 3. Okay, now the client will pass the parameters. They will select the parameters from the drop down, or they will pass it in the search box. Okay, now they will give us here a view button or submit button or run button, anything. So once they will click on the view button in where application, right?
Yes.
Once they click on this view report, what .NET people will do is, they will just connect to your report server. Okay, because we are giving all the path, server link, everything, right? They will just connect to that report path. Okay, and they will pass all the parameters to your RDL, and they will make it run. Okay, now it will give us some preview, no, in the SSRS report.
Yes.
Yes, all those preview they will show it over here. The complete report they will show it in the application itself, where they can have all the access, rendering the reports, zooming the reports. Okay, everything will be there. Understand?
Yes.
Can you give me a sec?
Okay.
Yeah. So whenever they click on view report, right, the .NET people are giving written a code in a such a way that they'll pass all these parameters to your report server, and they will run that report. Okay, and in the report server, obviously the report will be previewing, right? The same design and the same rendering options they will make available in the application also. Okay, and the client can easily go and render the report. Now you tell me, is it necessary to give any demo to this application?
No.
No
Not
need.
required. If they have username and password, they can come and they can select, and they at least they can pass the parameters and click on the view report. It's very user friendly, correct?
Yes.
That's the reason they're building the applications, guys. Okay, now clear?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's where these applications will come, and you can also tell them like one second. You will be having some applications in your project. Okay. If at all they'll ask some applications names, no. So maybe the project name will be there. No. Let's say benchmark. Okay. So let's say the Mercedes Benz is the project name, right? You can tell the same name for the application also. Okay. See, it's our wish, right? The application name. So you can tell any name, guys. Doesn't matter actually. Okay, now. Yeah.
Yeah. And now we'll tell you like where and all we'll get the jobs here. Okay. See, you may get a SQL developer, or you may get a SSIS developer, or SSRS developer, or SQL plus SSRS, or SQL plus SSIS, okay, or SSIS plus SSRS, or SQL plus SSIS plus SSRS. These many combinations you may get the job. Understand?
Yes.
So how many combinations are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Totally 7 combinations you may get the jobs. That's the one of the benefit in the MSBA technology. ఏ ఒక్కటి నేర్చుకున్నా కూడా బాగా, so we can survive. Understand?
Yes.
Okay. Now you will be having one more job here. Okay, na? Okay, one more job, that is application developer. Okay, what is meant by application developer means? See here, they are creating a .NET application, right?
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
So .NET application means, for an example, this is one of the application, guys. Okay, assume that this is the one of the applications. Okay, now for an example, when I click on file, can you see these many options it is showing? Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now in the application, no, to get all these informations, right, we will be saving all this data in the database level. So basically .NET people, no, they can write a code to make it visible some options. Okay, maybe I'll take another example that will be a bit easy. Yeah, this is one of the application, right?
Yes.
Now see the .NET people, what they can do, right, they can showcase these images, this some of the headings, yes, and all the delivery addresses, everything they can make it like this. But the thing is, when you click on any products, right, okay, what they can do is, they can do only this images preview and all. Okay, they cannot, I mean, they cannot store the complete products information in the application, guys. Why? Because if they can store data in the application, right, the application will be gone. Okay, application won't work at all. Okay, so the main location of the data storage will be DB only. Okay, now, so now upon the clicking on this, right, see, upon the what they have clicked, upon the clicking on fresh, okay, so what will happen? It will go and get all the fresh items from the DB, correct?
Yes.
Okay, now what will happen while building the application, right? Whenever they're clicking on the fresh button, so obviously it is going to run a query and get the data, correct? So who will run that query? Who will run that query?
Database.
No, the .NET people run that query, but who will return that query?
Developer only.
Application
Developers.
developer.
See,
No,
it will be run by the .NET people. They will return a code to run that query, but who will write that query means we are
Yes.
Okay, we are the one space. Okay, so which means to building the applications also we can work actually. We can work as a backend developers. There also one opportunity will be there for us. Okay, now.
Wow.
So whenever they're building the applications, right, we can tell them like to build that application. I used to write some, views. I used to create some store procedures, some, SQL queries on that. That is one kind of job will be there. Okay, now. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. Now, whenever you are working for applications, no. Okay. Whenever you are applying for working for applications, do you? I think many of the guys know about this. You might have heard about it. Product-based company, and then
Service-based.
service-based company. Have you heard about this?
Yes.
Yes, I heard about, but we don't know exactly.
Yeah, I'll tell you what exactly. Okay. So according to you people, which one will be better? Product-based or service?
Product-based.
Yeah, usually people will tell that this is the best option, right? Product-based. Okay. I'll tell you what exactly product and service based here. Okay. So here, see, applications are nothing but a product space. Okay. Applications are nothing but products. In product based companies, no, they will make the products, and they will sell the products to other companies. Understand? In the product based company, they will make some applications, okay, and they will sell to other people. Okay, now here, no, we will be having more opportunities, and also the work will be very, very cool, because whenever we are building the applications, right, we are having a lot of time to build that applications. Getting it?
Yes.
In the product based companies, we will always work on building the products. Okay, so where we'll be having lot of time to build the application space. Okay, the work will be cool. Okay, aramse we can do it actually. Okay, I mean 70 to 80% like that the product based companies will be. Yeah, when it comes to service based, right, so these guys are made the application, then they will sell, right? Correct? Yeah.
Yes.
Now these service based companies will use that applications, and they will they will do the projects. Ikkada, see, we are running all the, we are processing the files and the DB and the SSRS. Also we are using the application here, right? This application we have taken from the product based company. Okay, understand?
Yes.
And we are taking the service from them, correct? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
This application is not built by us. Okay, assume that it is built by some other company, some other product based company. Okay, now, so now what I am doing, the service based company will take the service from the product based companies, and they are using these applications. Okay, now, so ikkada manaki work obviously ekku untundi annamata, because that product, no, if you know very well, then it is fine. If you doesn't know about this application, right, so again there is a dependency, correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, there will be a lot of work will be in case of service based, but don't prefer only product based companies. Okay, if you get, you go there. If you get service based, obviously go and go out there. Okay, now, so after working 1 or 2 years, and then you're obviously gonna switch, right? Then you can try to go there in a product based companies. Okay, now? Okay. And anyway, the product based companies are very less, don't worry. Getting it?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, no, only if you are working for an applications or some products, no, that will be nothing but the product based companies. All products tayar chestaru, so where we'll be having some work. Okay, so service based means we'll be taking the services of to run those applications or to use that applications. Okay,
Okay.
understand? Yeah. So this is the whole project flow. Yeah. So here, no, whenever you're telling that we will be building the reports based upon the client requirement. So once the building is done, the .NET people will, build the applications, and where the client can come back and he can run the reports in the application itself. Okay. That is the end touch. In some of the real-time, real-time projects, right? So these SSIS packages where we automated
SQL.
in SQL, right? We deployed in the integration project, and then using jobs we are able to automate. Correct? Sometimes in real time, what they will do now, all these packages, yes, we will deploy in integration catalogs only. Okay. Where is that?
Below.
Yeah, here only we will deploy it. But what .NET people can do, right? Instead of using the SQL Server agent, they will run all these SSIS packages, okay, in the application itself. That option also available. Okay, see what they will do now. We need to provide this server name, SQL server name, username, password, and this path of these packages. Okay, now what they can do, right? From the application, they can connect to SQL Server and they can make it automate in the application itself. That also, that option also available. Clear? So you can tell either way. My better option will be tell them like we are scheduling all the packages in the using the SQL Server agent itself. Because when you say application, right, there might be so many questions will come into the picture. Okay, na? Yeah, but reports will be running from the application itself. Okay, na? Yeah. So this whole process will be running in the real time, in the live production. Okay, if something went wrong, let's say the package is failed, the source file is not came, or there is a change in the query, or the report is not running fine, it is giving some empty results set. Okay, so somewhere our daily, somewhere like something like we'll get some errors and all. Yes, and daily we'll go and fix those errors. Yeah, and sometimes there is a new development will come. You need to develop a new report or new store procedure or new package and all. So yeah, obviously that's how your daily job will be going on. Getting it?
Yes.
Yeah. So once you join in a company, right? So most probably they will give us some KT, guys, how the package, the whole package will be, like SSIS package, SSRS reports and database. They'll give some KT. So if you work for some 10-15 days, right, definitely you can easily understand what is the flow of that package. Okay, na? And best part in any company, so they will follow one methodology. Okay, to create these packages, right? They will follow some methodology. When there is a new development come, then we need to use the same methodology and run the packages. I mean, create the packages. We should not use our own brains there. Tell me what is the reason behind that?
Company could have a set of standards.
Yes, they do have some set of standards. Okay, if you use our own brains, right? So other people cannot easily understand, and there will be a dependency. Correct?
Correct.
Yes.
If you create your own package, right? So if you are trying to leave the job, obviously there is a dependency. Correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so that is the problem. They will not allow us to create a new packages and all. They will ask us to use the existing methodology. Okay, and a methodology means very simple. Let's say they're using staging package, transformation package, and they're loading the data, and they're using some validations and all, right? So what they will tell us is, please use the same validation, same package creation for the other package also. But the only thing is source files are different and structure is different. Understand?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's how it will be in the real time. What you need to do is you need to understand the initial package flow. Okay, now?
Yes.
Yeah. This is the overall project flow, guys. So you should not exceed more than 3 minutes.
Getting it?
Yes.
I think the same explanation I have given in all the interviews. ఒక్కటి కూడా చేంజ్ ఉండదు అవునా?
Yes.
Yes.
Even though I'm working on a different projects and different project flows, right? Still I'm explaining in the similar way. Okay, ఎందుకంటే this is the very simplest way to explain, and where we can give complete details to them. Okay, na? Yeah. So what you can do, listen this recording again and write down point by point. I have explained you now from top to bottom, from FTP to till application. Write down point by point and just forward someone to me. I'll just verify if any missing points are there. I'll give it to you. Okay. So whenever you're explaining these projects to them, right, you can don't by heart it. Okay, just understand and then explain to them. Clear?
Yes.
Yeah, listen this and write down the points point by point. At least make it like some 8 to 10 points and send it to me. Send it to me in the WhatsApp, and I'll just verify it. Okay. If anything is missing, I'll just add. Clear?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So tomorrow what we will do is we will see what data will flow into these packages. Okay, depends on the project domain, right? What data will flow, that will explain. See, I'll explain maybe some healthcare domain, some banking domain. If any other domains are there, I'll tell you how to handle that.
Yeah.
Okay, na?
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So once that is done tomorrow, right? So we'll show you the resume preparation also. Yeah. Anyway, I'll prepare it, but you should have an idea, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So for that purpose, I'll show you how to create. How to prepare the resume also. Yeah. So do not absent next 2 to 3 days class.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. So if any questions, so sir, only .NET language it will support. Which one? Application, right? So they can use any language actually. Any programming language they can use for .NET application. Okay. So if you have any questions related to project explanation, no, please do ping me in the Telegram. Sorry, not Telegram, in the WhatsApp. Personally, if you want to ping, you can ping me. Okay, na?
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay then. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye, sir.